Hi everyone, I guess I'm live now. David here, and I'm going over Guards Counterattack once again. I know I'm live, and I know that some people may come on a little bit later. I'm going to make my mug a little bit less conspicuous. There you go. So I'm showing here the original squad leader from 1977. This is scenario number 1, the Guards Counterattack. If you recall back to your youth when you first started this game, you more than likely played this very scenario. Not a lot of flexibility in the setup, which was good because you're just learning the game. There's some, and I'll just highlight some of the differences. And I don't know if I have a. No, I don't have. I do. I have a button like they do in the ASL, the here button. See, got little things that makes a little movement. So the map is identical. The map is identical to that used in ASL, so there's no need to worry about things. There are some differences in terms of how the maps or how the terrain is used. So some of the things are identical. For example, line of sight is true line of sight, and talk about the depictions of whether or not it passes through it or not is passes through an obstacle to line of sight. Woods are the same. Buildings, the TEM is the same. It's +2 for wooden building, +3 for stone building. The difference here, again, the game is evolutionary as it goes through. They use the programmed instruction, and at this level, buildings with 1 or 2 hexes have ground floors only, unlike in ASL where they have ground in level 1. All right, no problem there. Ground floor only, that's fine. The stone buildings any buildings with 3 or more hexes are considered multiple level. They have a ground floor and an upper floor. The beauty or the thing about this in this rule set at the very beginning is that units are considered to be simultaneously at the lower and upper level. So for example, this fella here can see over K7 into there. If I draw the line of sight, there's the button there. Usually takes a second time to come through. It's not working for some reason. Alright, here we go. Anyway, you just have to use the line of sight is very similar to ASL, but there are some subtle differences. But if you know how to play ASL, you can play this easily. If you can play this, I would argue you can play ASL as well. A lot of people don't think they can. So let's go through some of the differences with the rally phase here. I wonder if I have the rule book right here. I thought I did. And I do. Wrong rule book. Wrong rule book. I got Crescendo of Doom. I've got Cross of Iron. Advanced Squad Leader. Advanced Squad Leader Starter Kit. Cross of Iron again. I don't get it. I wanted to show it. I don't have it handy. I thought I did. But the idea is that the sequence of play for basic squad leader is a lot less detailed, I'm going to say, than ASL. And I think that's a given. And today I'm drinking water, by the way. Remember to keep hydrated. Hey, Gary Olson, the live chat is live. It's live! That's right. This is the original squad leader. And Gary Olson online, by the way, he brought over, I think it was Steve Hermer's copy of Squad Leader, and we played this on my mom's kitchen table back in 1983, I think, because I just got back from Germany and I was in grade 12. I said, hey, you got to try this game, so we played this game. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I don't think we've ever looked back. So, in the rally phase, the phases are the same. You can see here, where's the wheel? There it is. The phases are the same as an advanced squad leader. It's just that what happens a little bit differently. For example, the first thing is that you'll notice that there is no wind change dice roll. That begins in Cross of Iron. Okay, so rally phase basically is you fix things. Nothing there. One thing I will talk about is there are some subtle differences in the game, and I'm going to talk about possession of weapons. For example, this hex here. It's an old habit of mine. It comes from ASL, where I put the possessing unit underneath the thing it's holding. And the way I think about this is that it's, he's carrying it, so it's above him. Doesn't matter. As long as it's in the hex, they can use it. Leader loss morale checks are a little more painful in this game. It doesn't matter what the morale is. You can have a crappy 6+1 leader, and you're like a 628 Superman. Well, things are, if a guy breaks or dies, even if he breaks, his leader loss morale check, and all that goes along with it. But they don't have the dice roll modifier for the leadership. Also, no, it didn't. Anyway, the IFT here, I wonder if I can make it bigger. I can't. Oh well. It's slightly different from the what you'll see in ASL. For example, the highest you can get here is a morale check. It's shown as the letter M. You don't get a pin task check. That doesn't even come in, I think, until GI Anthem of Victory, pinning. Maybe Crescendo of Doom. Doesn't matter. It's not here, not available. Also, it's deadlier. In fact, that there's no casualty reduction. That's an all or nothing thing. Basically, you can see there, if you roll a KIA, everything in that hex is dead. Everything. So it gets pretty deadly. You have to be careful here. Alright, so we did that. Now we're in the prep fire phase. And I don't know why I put the Berkey back there. He should be up front. Because given that there's no such thing as assault movement, dash, stuff like that at this level, it's a little deadlier to be out moving even in the streaks. It's always a -2. They call it for moving in the open is a -2 dice roll modifier, which is terrible. Anyway, let's say he is going to, where are the chits? Basic, there we go, prep fire. So he's going to fire at, oh, I don't know, maybe the guy in the middle here. No, because the other guys can't see him. He's going to fire over here. So it's 3 times 6 is 18. So it's on the 16 column. +3 for stone building, -1, -2 for the leader. So 16 + 1. I rolled a 6. 6 + 1 at this level is a 2 check. 2 morale check on him. 7 + 2 is 9. He will fail. Also, there's no such thing as ELR in this. That comes later, and actually only for the Americans in GI Anthem of Victory. Units don't pin, so we don't have to worry about that. It's a lot deadlier. These two guys here, well, this guy here is going to fire on him. And they're at long range, so it's 3, 6, 9, so it'll be 8 + 3 on him. I roll 2 dice. A 3. 3 + 3 is a 6. On this is, yes, it's a 1 morale check on him. So he rolls 2 dice. Roll an 8. 8 + 1 is 9. That exceeds his morale, so he will fail. One thing about squad leader that's different from advanced squad leader is that unless you're Russian or SS, you're not going to go berserk. So if you have a broken guy and you can shoot at him, then do it. Now this guy, he has a choice. He can either shoot or move. If he moves out here, this guy's going to blast him with a down 3 shot. He knows that. Also, point to note, you notice nobody's concealed because there is no concealment yet. It comes in, again, it's programmed instruction. It comes in the second scenario, which is fine. Also note that this guy can actually see him because, again, he's at the second level simultaneously, and so is he. So, will he move or will he not move? Well, he's got this whole machine gun out here, so I'm going to go to this guy here. And I forgot to put the medium machine gun in with those guys. They only got 1 support weapon. Yikes! Support weapon, MMG, yoink. And again, I have it, I put it on top. Yoink. Put the leader on top. So they will prep fire, basic, prep fire. And again, across the street, so it's going to be, we know it's a firepower 8, same as in ASL. Difference is the support weapons here don't get rates of fire. Actually, we see the counter here. 4 + 4 to 10, so it's firepower 4, normal range of 10, breaks on 11 plus. Alright, so he's going to fire there. It's going to be an 8. 3 for the stone building, -1 for leader, so an 8 + 2. Rolls 9, 10, 11. 11 on that is no effect. So this guy's potential still getting some what they call penetrating fire down there, and it's a lot deadlier than a fire lane. Because basically it'll fire its full firepower up to 8 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It gets blocked there. Everyone's hit with a full firepower. It's pretty deadly. This guy's going to shoot at him because why not? So again, long range, 3, 6, 9. So it'll be 8 plus 3. See what happens. Rolled a 6. Point to note, there's no sniper. Also, he rolled 3, 3. It's a doubles. There's no cowering. I think that comes in later. Maybe GIM full of victory. I'm not too sure. But plus 3 is a 9. ASL, that'd be a pin task check. No such thing in this game, so it's no effect. This guy here, he's going to try to double break this guy, so he's going to fire at him. 8 plus 3. 7. Not bad roll. Plus 3 is 10. No effect. Alright, so those guys on the left have fired. These weirdos down here, they're going to fire as well. I'm pretty condescending to all my troops. So I'm going to fire on the leader. Going to try to break the leader down. So it's 4 guys there. Firepower of 16 plus 3. Ooh, I rolled a 3. 3 plus 3 is a 6. And that is a 2 morale check on this thing. I really have to check this sometimes. So I'll do the leader first. I don't know if you have to do the leader first in squad leader. Old habits, right? 8 plus 2 is 10. He fails. That's bad. 4, 6, 7 has a 2 morale check. Roll a 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. He passes. Remember, there's no pinning. Now remember, his leader broke, so he takes a leader lost morale check. It's a normal morale check. He takes it straight away. 2 dice. I'll roll another 5, so he's fine. That was a good fire. And had it broken those guys, I would have been able to maybe move these guys out here. But I'm not going to. They're going to shoot instead. Alright. Succeeds a lot more shooting in basic squad leader. So he's going to fire on them. Firepower of 4, 4, 4. So it's 12. Normal range. 12 plus 3. And there we go. I rolled a 4. Again, no cowering. Plus 3 is 7. 7 on the 12 column is 1. A 1 morale check. 2 dice. Add 1. So I rolled a 7. Add 1 is an 8. He breaks. Another thing here, you'll notice that Corporal Pollock is sitting here by himself. He is basically sitting there so he can rally people. That's it. Because if he's stacked with somebody, he gives them no extra benefit except for maybe moving, and that's it. Remember in ASL, they'll prevent cowering, and there's no leader loss morale check if they just break. So again, in the basic squad leader, what we see here, a -0 leader can be liability. It's probably the best way to say it. It could be a liability for in the troops on the front line. They're great if they're going to carry stuff around, or if they're going to be there for like I call it a catcher's mitt. In other words, for all those that break, they can route back to him, and then he can try to rally them and send them back. That's it from that. You can see here, Control X. There's a lot more shooting in basic squad leaders. It is a less complex game, I'll say. But for the time this came out, man, I tell you. In fact, my first reaction seeing this, I was just amazed that you had, I played some war games, beforehand, but nothing like this, where you had the actual machine guns, we were facing them which way they were shooting, just that kind of stuff. Anyway, so it's movement phase. I got 2 guys who can move. Again, -0 here, again in the back. His job is to help these guys around. So this guy here is going to move, and he's going to try to move up and take out this guy here. It's probably not a smart move, but to show the differences. Whoa, what did I do? I don't know, I had a bunch of stuff collected. So this guy here, he's going to move, and notice he has to move into here for 2. Notice I'm not doing any reaction fire. 3, and he's going to stop. Notice there is not the possibility of any defensive fire during the movement phase. Asterisk. Later in the rules at the very back, they talk about for an optional rule for you can do defensive fire while they're moving, and I forget what they call it. It's not first fire. They have a different name for it, but it was an optional rule. And in it you can see the seed of what became the interaction during the movement phase in an advanced squad leader. So that will do it for the movement phase. Now it's the defensive fire phase. The big thing is the difference in the, it just says defensive fire, it doesn't have anything like final fire or anything like that. The big difference is this: the dice roll modifier for moving in the open applies now, and I'm not sure if they have terrain effect dice roll. Here it is, chart 11.1 for squad leader, terrain effects modifiers, and you can see there, very first one, if you can read it, I can't get it much bigger, but it does say moving in open ground, 11.1 is a reference, -2, not assault movement and moving in the open, so it is a -2, and that's one thing to remember. So it's a lot more, I'll say, deadly in squad leader. So this guy is going to fire, and we can see, I'll put the leader on the bottom so it's out of the way, but he does have a 4.67 and a 4.12 medium machine gun, so it's a firepower 8 DRM -2 for moving in the open. I rolled a 9, 9 -2 is 7, 7 on the 8 column is a 1 morale check. So roll 2 dice, 4 and 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So this poor bastard breaks. Now we did talk before where I did a shot on a German for a double break. In other words, if a broken unit that fails a morale check just is eliminated. There's no casualty reduction in squad leader. But I can try to shoot at him again. I could, but here's the problem. Russians have a possibility of going berserk, and the last thing you want to do is force these guys to go berserk. This guy's, he's going to have to route back this way. He cannot come forward because he does see him. And if I just draw a line of sight, 1, 1, yeah, so it's going to pass right through there. Anyway, he can see him, so he can't route any closer. He's not going to shoot at him because he's already broken. But there are some other shots. These guys here, of course, are done, but these two guys here are going to gang up on, oh, I don't know, him. Let's say. So here we have firepower of 6, and the other guy is identicals, another 6. So it's 12 plus 3 onto this. Roll 2 dice, add 3. I rolled a 9 plus 3, 12. We know that's no effect. Again, there's no possibility of rate of fire at this level. That really doesn't come in, and it's actually changed from what rate of fire was in, I think it was brought in later in the probably scenario 4 or 5. There are some guns that have like a, so I'll say a circle 2, which means they get to fire twice in the same phase, as long as it's within the same covered arc. So they're guaranteed 2 shots. Of course, this here, the Death Star, I called it the Death Squad or something. No, it's the Death Star. People call it the Death Star. But this came out in, it's got an extra machine gun, by the way. Nice going, cheater. Again, see how the machine guns are on top? It doesn't matter what order they're stacked. ASL would be like, that guy can't fire it. Also, in Squad Leader, a squad can fire 2 light machine guns and retain his inherent firepower. So a light German squad with 2 light machine guns can firepower of 8. So again, it is a difference from ASL. But these guys here, we have 4, 4, 4 for 12, plus another 6. Well, we're going to keep 1 machine gun out of it because I don't want to. And again, possession doesn't matter. Goes to 18, no chance, I'm not going to break it. Because here's the thing, if I roll 12, every firing support weapon will break. They're marked with defensive fire, they're going to fire here. Firepower 16, DRM plus 1. Plus 3 for the building, minus 2 for the leader. Roll 2 dice and add 1. I almost rolled 12. I rolled an 11. 11 on the 16 column is actually 1 too many for, actually it comes to 12, so there's no effect. And, oh, this guy over here is going to shoot there for 6 plus 3. I'll mark him. And 6 plus 3, 8, no effect. Finally, Heakin's going to fire at this guy. He can see him. It passes right through here. So it's a firepower of 6 plus 4 is 10. So it's on the 8 column, 8 plus 2. 8 plus 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. That's a 1 morale check. So there's 2 guys here have to do a morale check plus 1. One guy rolls a 7, 8. Rolls a 7 plus 1 is 8, so he fails. This guy rolled a 5 plus 1 is 6. He passes. So one of them breaks. It's not too bad. And looking around, I don't see anything else. So I'll go here. Actually, I'm going to move it down so you can see it. I got my mug in the way. What's going on here? Well, that stays there. That's good. And this will go up. Okay, now you can see it. All right, so that's it for the defensive fire phase. Now we'll talk about the advancing fire phase. In squad leader, if a squad moves at all, then its fire is halved. If the squad does not move, it can still fire full firepower in the advanced fire phase. That's the big difference from the old game. Or sorry, the old game, the ASL. ASL, of course, if you want to retain rate of fire and full firepower, etc. in the advanced fire phase, you have to put them on. That's right, opportunity fire, mark it with bounding fire, and you're good. They got nobody left because that one guy that came out in the street, he's whacked. So we go to here, we go to the route phase, and we'll get rid of the, I'm trying to remember where the counter is. Remove all fire, all prep fire and all that, and all the moves. Route phase is almost identical to the route phase in ASL. First of all, the attacking or the phasing player goes first, and he's going to route. Uh-oh, I had everybody. He's going to route, but here's the difference. He finds shelter and he stops. He can't keep going, he's done. This guy's going to route. Again, you get to the next hex and you stop. That's it. This guy is going to route. He's going to route towards him. He's good. This guy, he takes his kick me sign with him. This guy is going to choose freely to leave his building and take as his point back. Actually, he can't. He's going to go to H7. And here's the difference. He has to leave any support weapons behind. They drop them. That's it. Even if they could carry them. That's the difference between ASL and squad leader. Once they are done, we go to the advanced phase. There we go. And it's pretty much the same in ASL, but the one difference is when you have the upper level buildings, you can actually advance and then go upstairs with one move. It's kind of creepy. But this is where the Russians really have to start putting the pressure on the Germans, and this is about the only way they can do it. Call it the Hands Across Russia fire group, if you will. But basically what they're doing is they're putting the people in the streets to flood the area. He's going to stay put. They're going to stay put. Oh, I forgot to route that guy. Even though that guy there is called Commissar Koenev, he's not, there's no such rule in basic squad leader. He doesn't do anything to his morale. It's just a superficial name they have for it. Anyway, so that's it for, I did the advanced phase, and of course if there were any close combat, that would happen now. There's no concealment gains, we don't have to worry about it. But now we go to German. I thought I had a marker. Oh, there it is. It's a totally different interface. Not really. It's a similar interface with ASL on Vassal, but there are some differences. They have different buttons or control letters and stuff. So I just right-click, find it on the menu, and go from there. And let's just go through the rally phase really quick, and we'll just highlight some of the differences. The first big one is that for anybody in a location with a support weapon, you don't have to pick it up. If you're in its location, there's no enemy there, it's yours. What else? Oh, there's no multi-man counter self rally. That's impossible. When I first played this game with Gary way back when, I think we missed that. We were just rallying guys everywhere. It was awesome. So look at it. The old Kraut's going to do their rallies here. So again, there's some differences. First of all, this guy is 7 is his morale. He's DM, so it's a +4 to the rice roll, -1 for the leader, and that's it. There is no bonus for being in rally bonus terrain. So it's a DM +3 to the roll. So just roll 2 dice, 6. Nope, but he loses DM. This guy cannot. He's in cover, so he loses DM. This guy can. It's a DM, so it's a 3 he needs. Got a 3, but he also got a 6, so it doesn't count. This guy up here just loses DM. And this guy here, he's going to try to rally, he needs like a 3. Good roll, got a 5. but loses DM. And that's it. Oh, there's a guy here. Oh, crow. I need, that's one thing this doesn't have. It doesn't have the button for, like when you play ASL in here where you can highlight all the different things. Alright, so let's see if he can rally. Leaders can self-rally. So he needs a 4. Rolled 12. Guess what? He's just gone. Whoops. So that is called fate. If you roll a 12 on a rally attempt, they're just something as bad as happened. Now these guys were in a location where a leader died. So they have to take a leader loss morale check, and they fail. They will lose DM at the end of the turn, so they won't be. So it looks like the Germans are doing the Russians a favor by just breaking all their guys or something. Anyway. So we'll go to the, get this out of the way, go to the prep fire phase, and you can see here, it's just going to be the same thing. These guys can probably shoot at him, and I'm just going to do a couple, that's it. I'm going to get going here. So it's firepower 6, -1 for Kelso on him. Roll 2 dice, I roll a 7. 7 goes to a 6. 6 on the 6 column is a 1 check. 2 dice, add 1, roll a 4 plus 1 is 5. He's fine. I'll show you one thing that's different, and actually this is a good time to do it. Penetration fire. This guy is going to be firing penetration fire down here. Unlike ASL, where fire lanes only happen as defensive first fire, they can happen anytime you fire a weapon. The machine guns, their first number is their firepower. It's also their penetration. They can hit that many hexes with the same firepower. So this guy is going to fire at him with a firepower of 4 with his inherent firepower, and he's going to hit these two guys with the machine gun. And it's like, well, they're separate shots, right? You don't have to worry about cowering. Because if it were the same shot, actually, you know what? I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to hit him with 6 and him with 2, the penetrating fire onto him. I could choose him if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I think I can, but anyway, it's been a while. So 6 and 2, no dice roll modifiers, same roll, roll an 8. 8 on the, yeah, it's no effect on the 6th column. It would be a pin task check, I think, in the other. But that's penetration fire. This guy's going to do the same. He is going to fire at him with, him with a 6 plus 3, but it'll be a 2 plus 0 on him with the same dice roll. Rolled an 11. It's hard to see, I think, on that screen, but he rolled an 11. That's no good. But he did penetrate fire. All right, how about that? And this guy, he's going to shoot him because having played this game for 40 years, I know they have line of sight to each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes away, all firing with the exception of 1 light machine gun. So it's going to be a firepower of 16. DRM is +1 because they're in a stone building. 16 up 1. I rolled a 5. Goes to a 6. On that column is a 2. So it's a 2 check on Dubrovich. 2 dice. I roll an 8 plus 2 is 10. He fails. 447 takes a 2 check. I roll a 6 plus 2 is 8. He fails. Now he's going to do a leader loss morale check because he broke. There's no modifiers. It's just a normal check. And he rolls an 8. So bad news. He dies. That's one of the downsides of stacking with a leader in this game, is that if the leader breaks or dies, you're taking morale checks. And if you've already broken, you know, that's it, you're done. Yeah, so that kind of does it for them. Anyway, I'm not going to do any other shots, but I will talk about a couple things. Machine guns, there's no such thing as spray fire, so they can't hit both at the same time. Even though they have the penetrating fire, or they call it penetration fire, yeah, they do. So for example, this machine gun here can hit 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes. Let's put little targets out there just to show. 1, 2, 3, 4. Info. I wonder if they have the other ones from the game itself. They have like track markers, they call them. Anyway, if he wanted to, he could fire at all 4 of those hexes with firepower of 4, because basically the grazing fire of the machine gun is forming down there. But yeah, that's it. So that's that's squad leader, basic level. You can see that there are, if you play ASL, you could probably play it, but there'd be some things you'd be wanting to do. I want to dash across the street. I want to do a human wave. I want to assault move. I want to throw smoke. What else? Smoke does come out later, but it does work a lot differently. Leaders aren't as powerful. They don't prevent, well, there's no such thing as cowering, so they have to worry about that. They do help with the movement of units that stack with them. Also in squad leader, running down a road, there's no road bonus, but I'll show you. For example, if this fellow were here, and if he were to move, and watch this, I'm going to put the movement trail on because this is important. Actually, I'll get rid of his move so far, but now I'm going to do, so he would go half 1, half 2, half 3, half 4. That's moving down the road. And that's not even, there's no double time. It does come in later. It might even come in cross of iron if I'm not mistaken. But they can move a lot faster on roads in basic squad leader. It changes once you get to cross of iron. I think that's when they bring in the road bonus movement. And as a final point, you can see here what we've gone through is highlighted some of the differences and some of the similarities between Squad Leader, the original from 1977, and Advanced Squad Leader as it came out in 1985. The phases are the same. The general activities in each phase is the same as it is in ASL, although there are some specifics that are different. When you get into the game itself, the map boards are the same. They're compatible both ways, with some exceptions. For example, they don't have desert rules in Basic Squad Leader, so they would have to borrow from ASL if they wanted to, like retrofit it. And some players do. And you know what? My opinion is this: if you want to play a game, play the game and have fun. And I don't care what anybody else says. For me, my money is playing ASL, but I will play Squad Leader at times. You have to play it slightly differently, but yeah, like I said, it's a lot deadlier in Squad Leader. You're going to wipe troops out a lot faster. They're more resilient, I'm going to say, in ASL, or actually you can reflect resiliency in terms of things like ELR, and get the random things of snipers. They do bring in snipers in Cross of Iron. Yes, Cross of Iron, they bring them in, but they're actually counters. You make the shots, and they're not as deadly or effective, I'll say that, as they are in ASL. But that said, it's a fun game, and I tell you, like, this is you go back in time to 1985 when ASL came out. They expected that people who had been playing Squad Leader all the way through to GI Anvil of Victory would be able to transition to this game fairly easily, and most people could. I'm not most people. It took me a couple decades before I actually got into this game, and even then I had to be dragged into it. That's another difference I just realized here as well. If you look at the counters for the men, they only have 2 figures on each. I think it was in GI Anvil of Victory where they started with 3. They started talking about half squads and stuff like that. Yeah, bypass movement comes in later, but it is kind of neat to look at the rules, how they evolve through, and you can see in GI Anvil of Victory, a lot of the changes were starting to come in, where they eventually said, you know what, scrap everything, build everything from ground up, and Don Greenwood and guys came up with Advanced Squad Leader. But this still is a fun game to play. And why not? If you pick up a copy on eBay for $20, give it a go, have a look at it. And I got to tell you, the back of that box is what drew me in. It's got the little snippet story there, and everybody knows how it ends. You know, this time Kruger was wrong, and you know, it was just the ending. All right, so that's it for now. Again, as pointed out before, my farewells were cut off because of reasons. So I'm going to do a silent 20 count once I say goodbye. So thank you for dropping in. Thanks for the chat. Say hi to Gary. Go check out his site. And that's it. Thanks.